Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Hope you're all well. Monday's over with. We're back into the swing of things. Well, kind of. And Baz is back with another beer review. The weather's lovely outside for a change. And I'm sitting up here, about to crack a beer for your entertainment. And hopefully for my thirst as well. So what we are looking at is one that I picked up. I've got to remember where I got this from now. I'm certain I got this from Morrison's, could have been Tesco's, but it's one of the supermarket ones I got. Jesus. I left my receipts downstairs. I'm not sure. I'm genuinely not sure. I'm going to say Morrison's, but what we are looking at is a beer from Polly's Brew Co. that is local to me, or localish to me. They're from Mould, North Wales, and what we are looking at is their Little Petal. And this is a West Coast Pale Ale coming in at 5.2%. Beautiful artwork. I do love that. And the wrap on the can is really, it's got a lovely feel to it as well. So as nice as that is, which is, you know, it's always nice to have a nice wrap on something, isn't it? Comes down to the beer, doesn't it? So I can't exactly remember how much this was. I think it was about the £3.50, £3.75 mark. So hopefully it's going to be decent. They are a good brewery. I don't have a Polly's glass, but I know Polly's do a glass in that sort of shape. I think it's a bit bigger, but we're going to whack it in there. So that's an old style beer hawk one. Pre-perfect draft, shall we say. It's nice and chilled. So let's get it cracked open and see what we get. Apologies for the light. We get a bit of traffic coming past. So you can see all the reflections and that through the glass and what have you, and off these things on the wall. Let's get pouring. Let's see what we get. West Coast Pale Ale. So I would expect a bit of the old West Coast style in there. If it's named West Coast, that's what you want, don't you? So you expect, I would sort of expect pineapple, maybe a bit piney if you like, grapefruit and bitterness. Beer in a glass. There is a nice aroma I'm getting off it. Very pale, very, very pale. That is like lemon. I think what you're getting there is what I'm seeing. Very pale, sort of hazy lemon looking beer. There may well be the odd little floaty bit in it. The odd bubbles going up, and quite a spacious finger of white head. If you look there, it looks quite spacious and sort of coming apart. I'm hoping it's going to be better than maybe it looks. It don't look bad, but you know, a spacious head always worries me. Anyway, let's dive in with the nose, see what we get. I won't try and tell you anything off the can. All it says is drink fresh, store cold, and basically all that writing I've got no chance of seeing, and it's on its side, so if I do, all the beer's going to come out. So let's just have a sniff, dive in, see what we get. Very much tropical, I would say. Hoppy, which is always a good sign. When you get that fruity aroma, for me, you've got to be smelling them hops. You've got to be getting that hoppy bite that you get in the background off half decent beer. If you haven't got that, it's very hard to think that it's real. Hoppy, tropical. Pineapple, passion fruit sort of notes. There is a little bit of a malty note in the background for me as well. A little bit of dankness there as well. It smells decent. It smells all right. I've got a feeling it's not going to be massively punching, but hopefully it's going to prove me wrong. I've got a feeling it's going to be a light drinker as well. So Little Petal West Coast Pale Ale, 5.2%. Tesco's, Morrison's, I'm certain it was Morrison's, about the £3.50 mark. Let's dive in. Cheers. It is very light. Very light, it's got to be said. It's a pale ale. Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily expect anything too heavy. It's supermarket. Again, you would probably expect it to be a bit lesser than their sort of beers that they brew and just sell themselves. Body is light, so let's move on from that. The body is light. 5.2%. Would I expect a bit more? I would probably hope for a little bit more. Quite a sprightly little fizz in there. The carbonation sort of suits the flavours that you get. You do get that little zestiness. You do get them tropical notes in there. For me, there's definitely a dankness and a bitterness in there. It's not the smoothest of beers to drink. It's got to be said there. I think with the beer being quite light and quite busy, it is a little bit rough. I'm not going to say it kills the beer, but it is a little bit rough on the taste. Grapefruit. There was a little bit of a pininess in there, a little bit of resinous maybe. Maybe not resinous, but definitely that pine sort of feel. It's a little bit dank. It's definitely giving you that sort of West Coast style. I think there's sort of lemon zest in there as well. It gives it a little spiky edge. Pardon me. Gas is coming up, so I think it is quite well carbonated. I actually think, considering it leaves you with quite a bitter tang, it's probably one of them rare occasions where I actually don't think it drinks like 5.2%. The bitterness is there, but I wouldn't say it feels overpowerful. Feels, I mean, if there was 4.7, 4.8% on this sort of beer, you wouldn't argue with it. So at 5.2, you kind of can't argue with that either, but you could certainly be fooled in thinking it's a little bit lighter. Is it as good as their core stuff? Now, I'm not sure if this is part of their core stuff. I'm certain they've done a beer named Petal or something, but it does feel a little bit light. So I'm going to say this is brewed more for supermarkets rather than their core stuff. I guess if they've got some, they will sell it on their website, but I would guess this isn't one of their sort of like full-on sort of polished brew co beers. More for a supermarket. It's nice. It definitely has that West Coast sort of feel to it. Is a little bit light, but again, it does feel a little bit samey. Now, granted, not all of you out there are going to be drinking the quantities of different beers that I drink. So I can't really say, oh, you're going to be bored with this. But it is a little bit safe, shall we say. It is sort of typical supermarket sort of fodder. Nothing nasty in there. But for me, very sort of average. It's a sort of beer that we've probably seen 100 times before in the supermarkets, and will continue to see. I do think craft beer is sort of dived down a little bit. I'm waffling on now. I'm looking at the camera now at 9:33, 34, 35. But yeah, I think craft beer has taken a little bit of a dive with the economy and everything. I think everyone is trying to save, and that I think you really have to go direct from the brewery and pick up something that is couple of quid more to get something full on sort of craft that we were getting 3-4 years ago. But yeah, supermarket beer, it is what it is. Is it all right? No doubt lots of people out there will like it. It is a little bit light for me, but it does do what it says on the tin, so can't really argue with that. £3.50 or £3.75 and part of a 4 for free, no doubt, because that's probably why I picked it up. So yeah, give it a go if you like your West Coast thing. It's definitely got that bitterness in there. It's definitely got the grapefruit and that little bit of pine and that zest in it. So yeah, give it a go. If you've had it before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching. I've waffled on for way too long. Apologies for that, and I'll see you again soon on another one. Cheers.